Gnudi. These are nudie, a primo course. Primo is a course of pasta or soup, but it doesn't have any pasta. Nudie means naked, so it is a little gnocchi, just the filling of the gnocchi. And it's very elegant. So if you're planning that elegant dinner, this is the good thing to make, and it's easy. I have some ricotta, put it to drain overnight in a sieve, and you are okay. Do 2 eggs, just like that. Let's whisk them a little bit. Okay, let's put that over the ricotta. Nutmeg. Italians use nutmeg a lot for fillings. It has a very pronounced but elegant flavor. And nutmeg is a spice. It's not really indigenous to Italy, but they love it. You buy it dry and it keeps well. And then, of course, lemon. We love our lemon, so let's grate the lemon zest. Let's go all around and get as much of the zest, but stay away from the pith, because the pith is the bitter one. But when you make stuffings, whether it's meat stuffings or pasta stuffings of some sort, a little bit of lemon rind always really brings the freshness in. All right, we got that. So I can mix the whole thing together. And the other flavorings are chopped parsley, breadcrumbs. The breadcrumbs will tie it together. Some flour, that will bind it and tie it. Grated cheese. And salt, basically for ricotta. Ricotta is unsalted. Okay. And so, these are nudies. A very simple pasta dish to make, but it's very elegant, very delicate. And we'll dress it just with some butter and sage. And people love this. So when you're not in the mood of making that fresh pasta, make just the filling, which is gnudi. Did I mix it up all well? Yeah, it looks very nicely mixed. Okay, let's put just a little flour so they don't stick. And just to measure, so you have them all uniform, an ice cream scoop is, and I like an abundant one. I don't like the gnocchis too small. Let me leave this here because you're gonna need a little flour for your hands. Otherwise, they will stick. And just roll them like meatballs. Okay. You can make them ahead of time, a few hours. Keep them in the refrigerator, and then you boil them when you're ready to serve them. Okay, you got that, right? So far, so good? All right. So here we are with the nudies. I have a pot of water boiling, just like you do for pasta. I'm gonna keep on rolling them until I'm finished, and then we're gonna boil them, and I'll show you how to dress them. Benvenuti to my library. So let's see what those questions are. John wrote me an email saying, I've enjoyed seeing your grandchildren on your show over the years. It seems that some of them are now old enough to have a kitchen of their own. Yes. What would be your recommendation for essential tools or equipment that they should get first for their new home kitchen? So what would they need? A soup pot and a pasta cooking pot with a lid, and one of the spiders. They can fish out their pasta, fish out their vegetables, a strainer, and a little pot with a handle to sort of reheat soups and heat water even for tea and whatever. Sauté pans, I think 2 sizes, an 8-inch and a 10-inch, certainly good set of knife, and then my favorite, some wooden spoons. And if they want to make desserts, and they do make a lot of desserts, maybe a hand mixer would be okay. That's what you would need, I guess, to begin a small kitchen. Good question, good question. The nudies are done. The water is boiling, and let's drop them in. And, they do splatter a little bit, so be careful. Get close to the water, but don't get your fingers in the water. And kind of throw them around the pan. So Make sure that when you're cooking things that are floury like that you have plenty of water. You want to give this nudie a chance to kind of dance in the water and to get hot. You see, the boiling point didn't stop, and you don't want the boiling point to stop. Otherwise, they might fall apart. What's a good idea also is to test one. You put one, I'm kind of sure of myself, so I didn't do it here. But for you made your nudies, put one in. Let it boil. Let it come to the top. Mix it gently with a wooden spoon like that. And if it doesn't fall apart, they're already good to go. So they are cooking. I'll put the lid back on so that the boiling point returns quickly. So here we are. Let's move on. Dorothy. Oh, Dorothy sends in a shot of her first time making ricotta gnocchi. She says they are almost as good as her grandmother's. We want to see this. I'm curious to see her gnocchi. Oh, looking good. Congratulations, Dorothy. I'm sure your grandmother will be proud. Let's check the nudies. All right. They're bubbling away. They have floated. You see, they come to the top. They bubble down, cook. Then they come to the top. But then you have to give them another 7 minutes for them to finish cooking. So let's make the sauce now. And again, I'm trying to save you on work on washing the pots. I'm gonna make the sauce right on top of this. Use the heat of the water to make the sauce. So sage leaves, here they go, and butter. Just like that. If you use salted butter, just gauge yourself. If you use unsalted butter, a little bit of salt in here, and fresh ground pepper. Okay. And this is a sage and butter sauce, and that's all. You don't want the butter to separate. I like the milkiness of the butter at this point. So the sauce is done. It's that easy. Let's get the nudies out into the sauce. And the pot is hot, so get yourself a kitchen towel. I'm looking at the nudies. They're done, and you fish them out, just like that. And you pour them right in the sauce. Nice and gentle, because they don't have the pasta to hold them. They are without a dress, nudie, naked. That's what it says. Okay, all set. And we're gonna just so you can stir them with the wooden spoon or just flip them around like that, just a little bit. The sage lets out its flavor. And we'll put some more pepper. Okay. And of course, cheese. I like the cheese. So, cheese, and then we can always add cheese at the end. So this is a serving spoon, but you have to be careful because you can cut into the nudies. So be careful. But they're done. We are ready to serve them. You can bring them to the table like that, family style, or you can plate them elegantly. Let's move on. Let's see who's next here. A lot of gnocchi sort of question. I've got a new video. It is from Lori.
Hi, Lidia. My name is Lori Pizzetta from Toronto. Growing up, I used to make gnudi, which are dumplings, with my mom. I'm wondering if you have a good recipe for those. Tutti a tavola, mangiare e bere. Saluti.
Ah, brava, Lori. Good speaking Italian. So, gnudi, it's one of those unique regional recipes from the Trentino Alto Adige and Friuli area up in the mountains. And they are like meatballs made out of old bread, pulled together with egg, with cheese, with spices, and cooked into a broth, a good broth. It's one of those recipes that is not kind of made often, but up in that area, and I come from that area, we do make it, and they're really fulfilling and really make you feel good, especially in the winter. Send some more questions, will you, Lori? Grazie. So here we are. Our little dressed up dinner is ready to be served. Some beautiful roses from my garden, some fresh sage from my garden, some great rosato wine, and we are ready. So they have been dressed. Let's serve them. You know, how many do you serve? Well, let's see how they look. You know, I always plan something, and then somehow, when I begin to work at it, it looks different. And then I have to change my plans. I want one to stand up in the middle, nice, so the presentation looks good. But it doesn't always work, not even for me. Don't get discouraged at home. All right, now it's standing up. Let me put a little bit of sauce. A little bit of sauce. And Lidia, where's Lydia's portion? Right here. I like my sage leaf and a little bit of sauce. Let's put some grated cheese on top. And you can leave the chunk of cheese on the table and let them help themselves. Here is a little bit of sage bouquet from my garden. Okay, I just wanted to make it. Let's do another one here. So I am ready to taste these. Everybody in the family loves these. They're mellows, they're delicious, they're simple, and they're not that hard to make. You saw that. So, you see how inside it is cooked, and now I'm gonna eat it. Delicious. You know, I can just taste the tinge of lemon and a tinge of the nutmeg. And you saw it wasn't much, but it really is pronounced. Delizioso. So, what can I say? I told you everything I know about this dish. You're gonna make it, and I want to invite you because I have plenty. Tutti a tavola a mangiare.